Hey there, my name's Eli, and I happen to love Star Wars, superheroes, and video games, which is probably the only motivation I even had for naming this channel the way that I did. Anyways, I hope you guys do enjoy the content you are about to see, and without further ado, this is the Geek Crusade! oh my gosh. Hello Crusaders, how are you doing today? Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video, taking time out of your precious day to watch this video. It always means so much to me. So I'm just going to get right into today's topic of discussion. As you are seeing on your screen now, you are seeing Pharah gameplay on Overwatch. As I have already said so many times, I'm absolutely falling in love with this game, completely taking me away, pulling me farther and farther away from Call of Duty. Hopefully you guys understand, because I just can't break away from this game. But I wanted to kind of do a character review today, kind of give you guys some insight on one of the characters, and obviously that character for today's episode is Pharah. Now, she is, in case you don't already know, Pharah is an offensive character with high mobility and high damage. Her rocket launcher puts out a ton of damage, especially if you land a direct hit on one of your enemies. Extremely lethal, pretty much no matter who you're facing, no matter who you're shooting at. A direct hit will do a enormous amount of damage. Now, before we get too far into Pharah and the fine details of her character, let's first touch on her abilities. First, you have her rocket launcher, as I already mentioned. You have her jump jet, which is pretty self-explanatory. You hit the button for jump jet, whatever that may be, and it launches her like 75 feet into the air. She has a concussive blast that when you shoot at enemies, it like blows them 15-20 feet in any given direction that you shot them from where they were originally standing. You also have a hover ability, which comes really in handy when you are up in the air once you've launched your jump jet, and you can actually hover and stay up above your enemies, out of sight of your enemies, for a good long while. And last but definitely not least, her ultimate is a rocket barrage. If you don't know what I mean by that when I say that, her rocket barrage is no matter where she is, you can hit that ultimate and she'll go justice reigns from above. I know that's not an accurate depiction. That does not do her justice at all, but for the sake of this video, please just hang in there with me. And she launches a bunch of rockets like all over. It's just a bunch of mayhem, and it does a ton of damage on all of her enemies who are standing in the nearby blast radius. And it's actually a pretty cool ultimate, and it's pretty fun to use and to look forward to when using this character. I decided to touch on some characters that she's strong against and weak against, and as I continue to do more characters in this series, I will continue to do the same thing. But characters that she's specifically strong against, but are not limited to: Bastion, all the tanks pretty much, Torbjorn and his turrets, and Tracer. Those are just to name a few. She's a well-rounded character, and she's really strong against tons of the 21 characters that you are available to play right at this moment. I'm going to have a weak against column for other heroes, but for Pharah, I found that she's a pretty well-rounded hero, especially if you use her correctly. So depending on how you use her, you can pretty much work your way around any other hero, any other enemy you're facing, as long as you use her the right way in any given situation. And I found that that's how a lot of the offensive characters are, with maybe the exception of Tracer, but I'll get into that in another video. Situations that I found are most useful to use Pharah are when there's a lot of bastions setting up, trying to protect the points, especially like when you're attacking. A lot of times, if a team sees that they're losing the payload and that your team, the attacking team, is pushing the payload further into the final point, the final objective, you will see maybe 2, sometimes 3 bastions pop up at the very last couple minutes that you didn't see or didn't face through the entire game, and they will just go down into turret mode, and they will just continuously fire, and their bullets are extremely powerful, so it can be extremely frustrating. And sometimes I've gotten to a point where I just got so fed up with facing the bastions that I eventually would just switch from any character I was using. I would switch to Pharah. You can get direct hit on the bastions easy because they're in their turret mode, and when they're in the turret mode, they are not able to move around. So, and because of that, you can get direct hits on Bastion, and you can in turn take them out very quickly. So it's definitely something that is very useful against Bastion specifically. Also, when there are multiple tanks guarding a point, like I said, you can use your jump jet and then use the hover ability to stay above all of the tanks and fire from above and fire direct hits, like especially because Reinhardt's shield takes up so much space and it covers so much of the front part of his body. You can actually gain an advantage by jumping and hovering right over above his head and landing direct hits right on the top of his head. So that really works out as well. Also, when you're just simply needing a height advantage, when it seems like the team is really controlling the ground level, maybe you just need that height advantage by just getting up there, using your jump jet and hovering above, so you can get a clear picture as to what all is going on the battlefield. This is a recommended hero that I found to start out with if you're just starting out with the game. Reason number one is because it's easy to learn, and reason number two, it's lots of fun from the very start. Like I picked her up. The very first character I used was Genji, I believe, but I ended up switching from him because I was having some bad luck with him. I switched to Pharah, and I had so much fun with her from the very get-go, from the first time that I used her. And ultimately, that's why you should play a hero. I mean, of course, it's kind of a competitive game, and your teammates are going to want you to use heroes that will help them win the game. But you have to have fun, and if having fun means playing as Pharah, then so be it. But that should be the number one reason why you play as any given hero that you choose. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button. And if you didn't, also feel free to hit the dislike button. But please, please, please tell me in the comments below why you disliked it and what I can do to change myself so you guys can come back for more content. Thank you all so much for being here. It truly does mean so much to me. Go and have an awesome day, everybody. Be blessed. This has been Eli Crusaders. Goodbye.